The best way to explain how the metabolomics testing work and the implications with people's conditions is to show you. So this is what the test looks like. It, this is a simple graphical representation that collects the information from over 126 metabolites into one picture. So I'm going to go into detail with that, okay? So the metabolomics measures almost 70% of your entire metabolism. Everything that happens on a cellular level, we will know about. And then for ease of understanding, we divide the metabolites in 12 different domains. So we have aging index, nutrition, and environmental toxin, inflammation, and each section has a score. As you can see here, aging index very low. So for this particular test, the purple line is the test, okay? So if something falls into the red, then it's a very poor score, okay? So we're looking, it also gives us an understanding of what areas do we need to intervene first. Because even if we have a diagnosis, that doesn't mean that that's the root cause. So for example, a diagnosis like symptoms that people might have, including, the expression of asthma, they can be symptoms of underpinning causes of something else underneath that creates that asthma, right? So this person, for example, is a perfect example. She has a very aggressive neurodegenerative disease. It's called MSA, multiple system atrophy with Parkinson. It's a very aggressive form of Parkinson. She spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, I think so far 900,000 with Mayo Clinic. And she has been told that within the year she will be paralyzed, etc. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because we would expect the neurocognitive area to be the ones that is the most affected, but in reality, there are other areas that are affected even more. For example, environmental toxin, aging index, and bone health. Okay, so for each section, we have a list of metabolites that are relevant for um, for that area. Okay, and actually those three areas that are very deficient are linked. They have some metabolites in common. So for example, she has extremely poor performance on her glutathione, and with the environmental toxins will, they will lead to neurological symptoms because toxins can affect the nervous system. And also what I want to show you here, I love this panel, the integumentary health. This is the health of your skin. Look how many metabolites are included in that. It's absolutely amazing. Like if we want to improve the quality of our skin, we just work on these metabolites, and many of these overlap with other areas. So as we improve other areas, we also improve the quality of our skin, which is, I think, is amazing. Like it's crazy how, like, it's literally the biggest area. I'll give you another example here. This person, she has very high mutational load. So I've been delving into this. Let me show you. Mutational load. She has crazy high levels of uracil and the metabolite of the uracil, and that affect it damages the DNA, and it provides errors between the RNA. Like uracil belongs only to the RNA, and there are different pathways for which, like, it creates wrong proteins basically, and it creates coding errors. So we need to make a plan for this. This one just came through. Okay, so after we receive the information, I ran an analysis to test which intervention will work in the best way. So for this person, the one that was at Mayo Clinic, that is going to be quote unquote paralyzed in a few months, apparently. She's not yet because she's working with us. The purple column, this is the supplements and intervention that the very costly Mayo Clinic asked her to do. They have the worst performance. The worst performance. And then we compare different types of intervention to reach the best outcome for her. Now, this test alone also provides recommendations for intervention. And these are here, you can see them in the dotted line. So they will run the entire metabolism through several simulations as well, with the intervention protocols that they have in their database, and they can predict how much are you going to improve in these different areas based on their own interventions, okay? And then these can be seen here in the digital twinning protocol. So each index has things to do. For example, introduce betaine. What were they doing here for, let's say, here, bone health, which is one of the most deficiencies that she has. Vitamin K2, use boron, like, you know, it has all these interventions. So just by doing the test alone and taking these specific supplements, we have a very, very educated, you know, we can tell you with certainty that you will improve on these areas, that these areas will improve, okay? However, we take it a step further because she's a very, you know, interesting case. So we need to work with her. We need to maximize her chances of success. So the green here, this is the intervention based on the test alone. The darker blue are the interventions from Evolve. And then the lighter blue, which is the best